सर नमस्कार।
Namaskar, sir.
जय गुरुदेव।
Jai Gurudev. So we are understanding mindfulness 24 by 7. 24 by 7 mindfulness means what? I know my real self. I am the real self. So what is I am the real self? I am permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. That is the goal of the Eastern wisdom. That is what our masters have been saying and declaring, that our real nature is pure consciousness, and that pure consciousness is of the nature of peace and happiness. So, this mindfulness 24 by 7 means that there is a total contentment. I'm hungry, I eat food, then mind desires again after a few hours, food again, I'm thirsty. So we feel contentment, but there is not a total contentment. Every time we have to desire, desire, desire that contentment. So we have to understand that. So, in fact, don't think that I'm deviating from the topic, because I try to establish in your intellect the way our masters educates, guides. So that is why for few sessions on Saturdays I have been talking about those principles. Once they are clear, then we understand the metaphor. So I'll come back to the metaphor. You see, I said one is desire fulfillment and one is self fulfillment. So, self fulfillment is total content. Huh? Are you getting it? So, total contentment is self fulfillment, and desire fulfillment, the mind continues to run after the things again and again. I like pasta, so I feel contentment, and then again I become hungry. So there is a desire again. So one is the desire, right? Second is the object of desire. If there is no object of desire, you cannot have any desire. Two things. What is the third? Desirer, experiencer, doer, enjoyer, feeler. So there are three things. Our master says, it is imagination created by the mind. It is a false notion that there will ever be a contentment by desire fulfillment. You don't agree? How many pairs of clothes you have in your closet? You will come to know desire fulfillment. Are you really, you have a total contentment? how many cosmetic products you have. Go on, ask yourself. So you see the object of desire is there, and desirer is there. So once you understand these 3 points, these three in the mind blocks the real self. So we have a false contentment in our life. Now, I'm not saying don't use it. No, if you don't use, even on your face, people will say, who has joined this session. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that these three blocks the real self and creates a false I. That is the problem. This is what all our masters are saying. Total contentment. That contentment is present inside me. Real self is of the nature of contentment. Look at another point, that is how the master uh, that is how the masters asks us to understand discontentment. Where it is within me. What the mind is looking, an object. So if we analyze and observe and understand that no object has a quality of contentment, no object, no person, nothing in the world has contentment. Do you find contentment in pasta? Do you find contentment in 20 pairs of clothes we have in closet? Do you find contentment in the car? You go to a saloon and they say, no, you look so beautiful. He's doing the marketing. So you understand that point. The first, desire, desirer, object. It blocks the real self. First thing. The false I is created. Then this false I is searching objects of contentment in the world, constantly changing the objects, and that makes me run in the world for the sake of contentment. But where the discontentment is located, it is inside. So I forget to remove that discontentment, that limitation in the mind is the problem, is ignorance. So we say you have already understood that removing the ignorance leads us to realization of the real self, and that helps us to live into the state of mindfulness 24 by 7. The problem in the mind is that you are in front of me, object is in front of me. Pay attention. All the objects are in front of me, but the real self is behind the mind. That is why we have to study Eastern wisdom. Did you get a flavor of that? That is why we have to use the metaphor. Because what is behind the mind, in order to understand and remove the ignorance, we have not to divide the mind. One is object, other is desire, third is desirer. So we come to a point, all masters speak unanimously that real self is existence. I exist because of existence. I told you before, mouse is, remote is. So that isness is existence. I exist because of existence. But who knows it? The same existence. How it knows? Because it is of the nature of consciousness. Consciousness is gone. We say in deep sleep, we fall into unconsciousness. We don't know anything. But once we return, the same consciousness says, I had a good sleep. That proves that consciousness is even present in the deep sleep, but because the mind is not functional, hence we do not know where we are. So Sat and Chit, existence, consciousness, and it is of the nature of bliss. It is of the not the bliss that you think. Bliss is existence. Bliss not in relationship to any object outside. Huh? It does not form a combination of object, desire, and desirer. Desire is fulfilled, I am happy. Desire is not fulfilled, I am not, I am unhappy. So there's a happiness and unhappiness that depends on the object outside, makes my mind feel I am worthy of suffering. But where the suffering lies? Does it lie in the object? Again, it lies within me because I feel limitedness. It may be a boring talk, but pay attention. Reject the mind that it is boring. But you have to contemplate again and again and again. So once we understand, did you pay attention? The desire, desirer, and object of desire. They create a false I. That false I continues to run in the world for the sake of contentment and happiness, and that every time this happiness deludes, puts us into a delusion. So how to recognize this real self and the false I? They both got mixed up. Who live wisely, who is a seeker, who knows they are mixed up. Those who live in ignorance, they do not know they are mixed. It is only one. That is the only difference between the mindfulness 24 by 7, who lives in and who does not live in. How it is mixed up. That is the beauty of these teachings of the masters. They put every logic and reason to doubt, to remove the doubt. So now see, I am eating. So it is mixed up. I am plus I am eating. I am drinking. Now I'm not saying what you are drinking. So I'm just simply saying that. I am plus I am drinking. I am stressed. I am plus I am stressed. So this I am stress is a false I. I am drinking is a false I. I'm eating is a false I because I don't have a right notion who am I. You see, that is the point of ignorance. I am drinking, it means I'm an individual self, and that individual self is the false I. Can you prove that you are drinking? Yes, I drink daily in the morning instead of meditating. So now I'm not saying what you are drinking, anything that you drink. Can you show me that you are really drinking, you are really eating, you are really talking, you are a speaker or you are a listener? Who is listening? Your ears and the mind. Where is this I am? Listener. I'm a listener. Where is this I? Why we say it is a false I? That is blocking the real self. That is where I started. Tell me, where is this listener is there? To whom you address this I is there who is a listener. This I who is a eater. This I who is a drinker. This I who is a driver, who is a rider. You don't find that. And that I is a false I is blocking the real self. Who is that? In every action, we don't find this I am, still we use, we relate to it, we get attached for the sake of desire fulfillment, because it becomes little complex for understanding, so we have to use the metaphor. So there are only two. Where there is real I, there goes the false I, because the false I is superimposed over the real I. So who knows it is mixed up, who separates the false I from the real I. That much is to be done by inside the head in the noise. Here I am, and here I am talking. Here I am, here I am eating pasta. In the false I, desire to speak, for me, desire to speak, desire to express, desire is already there, created by the mind, in the mind, and I'm acting. But behind that, there is a real I. We need only knowledge to understand it. We need to be aware. I am. I am means I am existence. I am consciousness. I am bliss. The moment I say I am eating, all the three goes into the background. This false I is time bound, that real I is timeless. Is there any time where I cannot say I am? I have eaten, finished. I say I'm eating, so that I am is dead now. After an hour, I'm speaking, that is dead now. You see, it is constantly changing. It is time bound. No, I will talk for about 3 hours. No, I will not join you. I feel bored. I'm already feeling bored. So I feel bored. You see, that I am listening created a limitation in me. 1 hour is okay, Sometimes you say you join us 10 minutes before even, I'm packed up, I'm fully busy. That's why we are awful. So that's a different thing. So once we understand that, so now to why we use the metaphor. So there is an individual self. That individual self is the false I. Oh, I'm an individual. Show me where is an individual. His body is an individual. Mind is an individual. Sense organs are individual. Where? Where is an individual? It is for the sake of convenience. It is for the sake of language. We will continue to use. So I told you before, a seeker knows the difference inside all the time, 24 by 7. So when the individual self says, I am stressed, it doesn't affect. I'm a eater, doesn't affect. I'm drinker, doesn't affect. But that individual self depends on the body. Body is time bound, so we get attached. False I says, remain attached. You are an individual. So when we are attached, it causes the suffering. Mental dirt starts. I'm not going into the religion, but understand very clearly and think over it. That individual self is known as individual soul who commits sin, who attains virtues. Real self is behind that. In all religions, we use the word spirit in the soul, and then we say you are a sinner. So it is that individual self. I identify that I'm an individual self. I committed sin. Then I have to confess my sin. How long? To whom? To the priest who has already committed sin, because he is seeking a confession from you. So I'm not going there. So you see, the individual self is one. But is this individual self is attached to the body? Yes, it is attached to the body. You remove my right arm. Does the individual self goes away? No. So it means that individual self is separate from the body. We should penetrate deep inside. So when you penetrate, oh, this is the world of manifestation, the physical level of manifestation, body, five sense organ, material world is the first layer. Second layer it lives inside is the individual self, right? And deeper inside, we say, my conscience opposed to do this thing and still I did it. So I am a sinner. Third layer, and behind that, that innermost self is pure. It is made up of the mind, pure mind, and the reflection of the real self. Innermost self. Have you heard about Lord Ganesha? That is the real self. Have you heard about Durga? We have 330 million gods and goddesses. That is the innermost self. Yeah. You see the Kate, Kate has captured Lord Ganesha. She doesn't allow Lord Ganesha to go anywhere. So you see that. That is the third layer. And the fourth layer is the real self. So we are returning back to the teachings of this great master who lived in ninth, first century. So he uses a metaphor. Metaphor is a symbol, an image, a comparison, a simile to understand a concept or a reality. We have been using, the science is using. So metaphor helps me to vividly visualize what is yet to be known by the mind. What is yet to be known by the mind, because we are searching what is behind the mind. We are not searching what is in front of the mind. So, as long as we start searching the real self in front of the mind, we are searching in the material world. But I am conscious, material world is unconscious, I will never find it. Some people, I'm not addressing anyone, but some people feel that, I'm just telling you, no, I feel a very raw, negative vibe of that person. Oh, you're so intelligent. I know many people say to me, I feel the wrong way. You like beard? No. So you'll feel the wrong vibe, negative vibes here also. Be careful. It is a corresponding impression created in your mind about a person or an event that concludes, that individual self concludes, I feel the negative vibe. Why? The other guy is also a human being. Why don't you live with that peace and happiness to bypass that negative vibe? Come back. Last time we understood this, and that, these four layers with a metaphor. So the question arises, does the real self creates all the rest of the three layers? And if it creates all the three layers, how to understand? So our Upanishads says a metaphor of a spider. Spider is real self, and it brings forth those thin layers, those thin threads. It creates the entire web, and it lives inside the web. It is not caught in the web, but that web is created to catch the prey. Do you see the metaphor of a spider? Spider lives and starts creating a web all around that is his home. And I saw on the Discovery Channel, even a large snake is caught in the web. But still the spider remains independent. Do we live independent of the rest of the three layers? That is mindfulness. We have to use it. Spider is using it. Do you know that the spider pours forth its thread from itself and takes it back again? That is what happens to only real self alone is true. The rest are the manifestation. So that is why, in order to understand that, this master uses such a beautiful, he uses two metaphors. So first metaphor that we have covered a couple of weeks before, the first is a pure white cloth. Do you remember? First is a pure white cloth. Then it is starched. Starch is the level of conception, the innermost self. Third level is the sketching, and the fourth level is painting. When I'm talking to you, I'm using all the three levels. You are listening to me, you are using all the three levels, the manifestation, the white cloth. On a painting, you see, oh, here I am. I got one of the most beautiful painting long back in Jakarta of my master. So, because I was aware of this metaphor, I said that behind that picture, it is only a white cloth. But still I say, oh, here is my master. Even with every picture. Oh, this picture is 20 years ago I have taken. But behind that, there is a pure white paper. Do you see that? Can I see that clearly? So I separate all the four layers inside the head. I cannot do it physically. Physically, that means, we are committing suicide. We are not talking of suicide. So first is pure white cloth. Second level is starch. We make it stiff. Sometimes you see that, all the four corners are tightened so that you can have a sketch. So that sketching is what is known as the individual self. And after that, you have a physical manifestation. So white cloth is compared to the pure consciousness. The second level, starching, is at the causal level. The third layer from inside is the subtle level, the subtle self, what we say the individual soul and the self. And the fourth level is the physical manifestation. So through that metaphor, this mind goes behind itself. The mind transcends itself. And we naturally find that state of pure consciousness. So we'll continue our journey with this metaphor, and we will only understand what this master says. I'll try my best to give the interpretation of every verse based on only this metaphor and another metaphor. Based on these two metaphors, he explains we are absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. That is why we say it is a non practice. You need to raise your level of awareness. Close your eyes. Still, many people may feel I'm still practicing, but basically, we are moving with awareness. You cannot say that, I look all of you. It is a practice. No, it is not a practice. Looking means I'm aware of all of you. At the same time, it's a simultaneous awareness. At the same time, I also know that there are many people joined the session. See that? So there is a body, then the five sense organs, and then the breath, and then the mind, and the thoughts, and the feeling, and oh, there are many, many people. In the presence of these many people, I am only single. Now, I'm not saying single means married or so eyes are closed and we are comfortable. Be settled. Find that you are already settled. If I say so physically, so we are talking of the outermost first layer. You are settled physically means you are aware. If you are not aware, how do you know that you are settled physically or not? That is what I say being comfortable. And that is, I extended that at a very primary level that you look at the neck joint, what you're looking. Spider is looking at the manifestation, if I use the metaphor. Uh, so that body is not me. Neck joint is not me. With that awareness, you look at it. Then you have an experience of what? Sensation, comfort, and steady. Oh, it's a third layer. It's a subtle individual self. That's how you say that I experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. What is after that? Ah, null and void, a sense of nothingness. Buddha talks about that. Can you see these four layers? Just check it again with awareness, shoulder joints, fourth level. Or you can say the first level from outside. Manifestation, I need not to reject it. I need not to control it. I need simply to be aware. And that awareness, if the subtle body does not create any struggle, it is not attached. So there comes an experiencer. Who is that? Experiences says that, experiences, sensation is there, comfort is there, steadiness is there. Okay. And after that, the other thoughts are there at a very subtler level. So now we are directly dealing with the individual self. What is behind the thought? It is only the space. It is in the space is awareness. What? Yes. Take it, space is awareness. And awareness is space. We will understand that also. So this is a glimpse of how we transcend the mind. Pay attention. Objective desire, desirer, and desire. They are all gone. Why they are gone? They are in front of the mind. Behind the mind, it is pure nothingness. That is how we separate, not physically, but with the knowledge. So you, that individual self, need not to struggle, calm down the mind, control the mind, minimize the occurrence of the thought process. Let it be, because it is not me. It is me, I have a lot of thoughts and I have to control. Meaning, still in ignorance. That is individual self. Recognition. That is why I say nothing needs to be done. Why? I'm the real self. If the spider says, I am the web, I am all the threads, then it is a wrong identification. Then this spider cannot get out of it because it has created a secondary, what is known as a false self. Let us become aware of in another way. Awareness is knowledge, knowledge is consciousness. I'm an individual self. How do you say with reference to the body? Your body is different from mine, mine is different from you. Hence, I am an individual with reference to the body. Our master says it is a secondary self because you identify yourself with the body. But the body is an instrument. You identify with the car. You say, I am the car. No, you never say, I am the house. No, you say, I own the house. Can I say I own the body? I'm not the body. I own the body. No issue. Spider also, if the spider thinks, spider also, no, it's my web. And then this who says I am the secondary self with the reference to the body? It is the individual, it is in the mind. The mind has already created. Pay attention. Everything is happening in front of the mind. Mindfulness is transcending the mind. We think, once we close our eyes, then we will transcend the mind. So you already close your eyes in deep sleep. Do you transcend the mind? The secondary self, in another Upanishad, another master explains beautifully. So, outermost, the moment I identify with the body, it is secondary self. Then the individual self, which is the false self, a notion, a thought in the subtle body. So our master says, why don't you look behind? There is nothing like individual self. It is all about what we say the third layer is the innermost self. And behind that, there is only I am. I am not spider. I am. And spider knows I am not the individual self. I am not the web. Take the same metaphor. If the spider claims that I am all the thread of the web, I'm already attached, I'm caught. Then I'll be scared. If any prey enters, that is what is happening about our insecurity, fear, anxiety, duality, conflict, problem, suffering. I am the secondary self, I am the individual self. Spider is aware of every thread, the way it weaves the entire web. So the real self is also aware of all the layers. If it is aware, it feels it is separate from it. No delusion. Thought comes, I am in thought. Your awareness goes anywhere. Just say in your mind and become aware. I am plus body. Plus means different, separate. I am plus thought, I am plus feeling, I am plus emotion, I am plus anxiety, I am plus stress, I am plus pleasure, I am whatever comes to the mind at this moment. It's not a practice. You enter into a knowledge. If the spider comes and teaches, it says, yes, I am plus one thread, I am plus second thread, I am plus prey, I am plus this. We are separating. Where? In the mind. How? By knowledge. What is knowledge? Awareness. What is awareness? Consciousness. Body moves, I am plus body moves. Where is the problem? So when the individual self is deeply attached to the secondary self, then you complain, I'm moving. You're not moving. Body is moving. You're not moving. Mind is moving. Driving a car, do you move or the car moves? I am plus. You say in your mind, and then you see different. The three layers will continue to move. There is no way. To be into that state of mindfulness, we have to be a super seeker. Why? See that again from the reference of knowledge. Super seeker lives wisely. Super seeker is extraordinary attentive if any thought comes. I am plus thought. Next response. But if we are not a seeker, the thought says, no, I feel uncomfortable with the body. So the mind is carried away to the secondary self, and we are missing the point. You know what to do when the body moves. I am plus body moves. You see that separation. Non seeker finds that it is not separate. I have to control the thoughts, I have to curse the mind, I feel uncomfortable. Do you see that? I feel uncomfortable. One I am, second I am is pure I am. Spider never had practiced mindfulness, but Spider knows it. Canvas is always one. It is stiffened. The mind has yet to discover. And then the sketching is the individual self. And painting is what we say that I'm Girish name. I have a form name, another form, age, gender, nationality, and mind is caught into that delusion. And it proves how I am separate from you at the fourth level is the greatest delusion. Painting worth millions of dollars. The truth is that it is only canvas. You see, you witness, you are aware, you have a knowledge. What is that? I am plus I am not. I am is constant. I am a speaker to you all for another 15, 20 minutes. And that speaker becomes dead. Then I become a eater. Eater is dead after eating. It does not exist. I say dead means it is does not do not exist. It does not exist. I'm Girish. Does it exist? But yes, for the sake of convenience, let it continue. Beautiful. I could see a motionless stay deeper within. You might have heard that those masters lived in the forest and lived in mindfulness for weeks and months together. This is it. It cannot be done by practice. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand Your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good. I thank you for the lesson and the meditation. I had a moment where I realized, probably on the like coming maybe from the second level, that I had a real sense of compassion for the third and fourth levels, that, where you get carried away in delusion. Because it's a rough place to be, to be so like, and using your metaphor, like to think you're the web, right? To think that you're all this mess. And so I think in that compassion, I found that a nice bit of separation from it, and it was restful.
That's a beautiful fact is that once the mind goes behind itself, the compassion is natural, the kindness is natural, peace is natural. Beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you for that. It was really good. I find the non-meditation more in depth than the meditation. Frankly, it's like very
Sure.
powerful. And I love the concept of the web with the spider. That will leave a lot of thought in my mind for days to come. So very peaceful, very enjoyable, very fast.
Very fun. Beautiful. That's the way. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. I too really enjoy the spider and the web, and the knowledge that really, if we're rooted in that knowledge and there's no doubt, and we add that faith in the knowledge, then it's impossible to get in the web that our body and mind have created, or anybody else's web.
Yeah. That is the biggest problem. That the moment I mind sees you, and no, you are Jerry, you are David, and then the mind gets involved into it. It becomes unconscious. It does not see the difference between I am and what I am not. All the three layers. That causes lot of problem in our life. Beautiful. How are you, Teddy? Terry, I don't
I,
hear you. Yeah, now I hear you.
I saw right at the beginning, I saw um the real self behind the
Yeah,
mind and everything outside in front of the mind.
yeah,
So I had the thought of a Eastern wisdom as being like a big broom, that if we're looking outside, it sweeps all that away.
yeah.
Then
That
you
yeah.
can see the real self. So
And
as it went on, it just maintained that awareness, so it all made sense, except I
you,
was working with some distraction from my body. So
did you feel in that state that you have a problem?
I felt like I felt like a little bit I was using the awareness of the real self to allow the peace to manifest into the problem, to kind of help myself feel better. And I knew that I was doing that. I didn't know if it was the right thing to do, but I know I'm doing, that's going on in my.
One more step. What is that step? I am not the problem
Mm-hmm.
because I still identifies with the three layers and it says I have a problem. So let me pass on the peace. The peace is already there.
Yeah, I was just trying to flow it towards the problem to
Good, Good,
wash it away.
good. Always good to see you. How are you, Kate?
Good morning, everybody. It was very quiet this morning. Very quiet.
Very quiet. That too is good. That sense of quietness represents the third layer or the second layer from inside. After the real self, we have a causal, innermost self. That is what we say the innermost self. It should be inner. It should be deeper than the mind, the individual self. Beautiful. How are you, Rakesh?
Namaste, sir. Thank you. Uh, so during the session, entire session, I was watching. Initially, I was watching the body, the breath, the thoughts, and then again, I thought of looking for myself. So I started searching, going behind all these things, the outer layers, and I find nothing. It was just uh, space, emptiness, nothing I find. So,
Nothing.
but the search continued.
Good, yeah. Search continues searching. Search comes to an end when we find the real self. How are you, Sam?
Good. Experienced nothingness.
Experience nothingness plus I am or I am not.
I'll
that
have to get back to you.
that you and the Rakesh has to contemplate. Beautiful. How are you, Vaibhav?
Uh, Sir, I'm good. It's like that awareness by nature, it's totally free. Then in that awareness, there's a thought that I am. I thought is there, which connects to every other thing. So if I see myself as an awareness, then I can be totally free every time.
Yes, you are explaining a beautiful point that there is a thought that I am, and that I am thought gives you the knowledge. What knowledge it gives you? I am the body, gone. Then the spider is caught in its own web. I'm the individual self, still caught. But I am. So that I am is all pervading. That I am is all pervading. Beautiful. How are you, Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Sir, namaste.
I am good, peace, quiet, comfortable, relaxed.
Beautiful. That is what we need to be into that state. So that is all for today. I will talk to for a minute to David and Jerry once this session comes to an end.